Hello, Mr. Anderson. As I promised, I made this quick video to help you understand how I would like you to use cryotherapy as part of your home exercise program. There's a bit of information, but I've broken it down in the who, what, where, when, why, and hows that should help you remember the benefits, applications, precautions, and other important aspects that will educate you on the use of cryotherapy. So let's get started. Who? That one's easy. That's you. What? What is cryotherapy? Cryo means cold and therapy is treatment intended to relieve or heal. So essentially, we're going to use what we call agents, such as ice or cold gel packs, to lower the temperature of an injured area in an effort to help your body with its natural healing process. Where? In your case, you've injured your ankle a couple of days ago, so a general application around the area is what we're going to be focusing on. When? While ice can be used for almost all injuries, there's a matter of timing that we have to consider. Ice is used for injuries that are only about a week old, or as we call it, in the acute phase. A good rule of thumb to remind yourself, if it's red, hot, or swollen, use ice. Injuries that have been around longer than a week are no longer in that acute phase of healing, and so different agents are used in those cases. Why? As I'm sure you noticed, when you hurt your ankle, there was quite a bit of swelling. This is a good thing. This is the body's natural reaction that helps clear away damaged material as part of the healing process. However, too much swelling is not a good thing, as this cleanup project can end up causing damage to healthy cells. Ice helps by slowing this process down. It shrinks the blood vessels in the area, limiting the amount of fluid that actually goes to that area. Less fluid equals less swelling. Ice also helps with pain as it can numb the area around the injury. How? Here are the gel packs. They're about $50 on Amazon, but I love it and use it all the time in the clinic. Some pros. They're reusable, so you can keep them in your freezer and pull them out as needed. They can also be thrown in the microwave and used for heat as well. Finally, they are less messy than their ice bag counterparts, which I'll get into in just about a second. The cons for the gel pack? They take up freezer space. And another important factor is temperature regulation. It is difficult to precisely regulate the temperature because it's not pure water, but rather it's a synthetic gel. For this reason, we actually suggest avoiding using those frozen gel packs used for short-term food storage, as their temperatures are even more volatile as they're not intended for therapeutic use. It comes with a cloth barrier, which is good, but please use a small towel between you and the gel pack during the first application, or at least until you feel comfortable and familiar enough to use it without. As far as the application, you'll wrap the gel pack around your ankle and use the straps for a secure fit. It doesn't have to look pretty, just make sure that thing is on there snug. The next agent I wanted to talk about is a plastic bag with ice. Pros, it's much more accurate with the temperature, so you know and I know exactly what you're getting. I would still suggest the use of a towel until you are familiar with the application. Cons, these can leak, so you actually may end up using that towel anyways, and we suggest sucking the air out of the bag, which can get kind of tricky. With regards to the application, if you can get someone to help you, plastic wrap can be used to help secure the bag around your ankle. Again, doesn't have to look pretty, and it won't. As far as the dosages go, either method should only be used for 15 to 20 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day. The tissue should be cold at first, perhaps slightly irritated, but then should relax and should numb. Longer applications may actually end up hurting the skin, the muscle, or the nerve tissues. So, wait at least 45 minutes to an hour before beginning a new cycle. I've recommended 2 to 3 times a day, but feel free to apply this on-off method as often as you would like. Just remember that the off time is just as important, and it gives the tissue time to recover. Cryotherapy alone is good, but cryotherapy plus compression is much more effective. So, during application, try to remember the price method. protection, rest, ice, compression, and elevation. Here are some things to look out for. First, the effects on muscle performance and sensation. You may experience decreased strength, functional performance, and/or sensation with prolonged use. Remember, 45 minutes to an hour should be used as your off time to let these tissues recover. Also, don't panic, as these effects take time to set in, so you won't be caught off guard, and they are only temporary. If you feel something odd, just remove the application and try again once the movement or sensation returns. If this continues for every use, stop the use, let me know, and we will try another method of tissue healing. Here are some precautions. Do not start treatment if you have or are known to have hives with previous cold treatments, intolerance to cold, Raynaud's disease or phenomenon. This is where your fingers will feel cold and look blue. You'll know if you have this. A regenerating peripheral nerve, over an area of circulatory compromise, such as varicose veins, over peripheral vascular disease. This doesn't apply to you, but in case you get asked about it, you would need to consult a physician for use if you have hypertension, thermoregulatory disorder, or part of the geriatric or pediatric populations. Cautions to consider are prolonged use that can lead to hunting response. This is a response where your skin temporarily turns red, almost like a rash, but again, it's temporary and reversible. Also, be careful when applying over open wounds or over an area of poor sensation. I hope this video was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you again soon for your next visit. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to call or email me using the information provided on my business card. Have a wonderful day, Mr. Anderson.